Paul McCartney's selection of the song as the most philosophical song by the legendary band is, to be honest, a little surprise. But critics and music enthusiasts have spent decades poring over the Beatles' record in search of deeper hidden meanings and meaningful messages. Even though the Beatles didn't release albums like Abbey Road, Let It Be, or their self-titled White Album until later in their career, McCartney did provide his choice for the most cerebral Beatles song in 1967. But even back in 1967, McCartney's decision looks a bit strange. Perhaps, however, that is an inevitable result of presuming that philosophical discourse must be intricate and practically incomprehensible. Alan Aldridge was a British artist, designer, and illustrator who met with Paul McCartney in 1967 for an interview. Contemporaries talked about the deeper meanings underlying the Beatles songs, which McCartney said were mostly made by fans. "We put words to music." He spoke about how they were understood. Then, within a week, someone else brings it up and claims that it also means that, and you're stuck with the consequences. Every object has a myriad of possible interpretations. What is it? I'm confused. There are cryptic allusions to psychedelics among these millions of meanings, much as in Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Someone else who was taken for a psychiatrist was Dr. Robert, a member of the Fab Four, who was actually simply a running joke about American doctors who liberally gave out prescription medications, playing a reverse version of a song from Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club made it sound like the band was yelling, "Fug your fugging Superman," according to some innovative listeners. They never intended for it to work this way, though. "It's unbelievable that people should believe we go into it to that extent," McCartney on to say. "All we do is write music that we enjoy," McCartney continued. "Assuming it turns out intelligent, cool. There comes a point when you question if it's worth it if we're going to produce outstanding philosophical writings. As a band, Love Me Do had the most profound philosophical meaning. My love for you is unwavering, and I promise to remain faithful no matter what, so please, love me. My dear, adore me, do. In order for it to be both truthful and simple, it must be really straightforward. An old proverb states that the most profound insight in life often comes from the lips of children. Despite the merit of songs like She Said, and Within You Without You, Paul McCartney, in 1967, preferred the philosophical Love Me Do above the other Beatles offerings. When the Fab Four first started performing live in and around Liverpool, and then Hamburg, one of the first original songs they sang was Love Me Do, which McCartney composed while still a teenager. The song's simple pop sound was instantly appealing to listeners, and it helped propel Beatlemania. "In Hamburg, we clicked," McCartney commented afterwards, as reported by Beatles Bible. "When we were in the cavern, it made sense. Love Me Do, reaching the top of the charts, was the moment we knew we had arrived. It was that one. There was a direction it pointed us in."